Yeah.
Good.
That's salt.
Oh, what was that? What was it?
That
was
was salt,
not worth
wasn't
the
it?
joke.
What was it?
That was not worth the joke.
What was it?
It was salt.
Oh.
That is a
That's
great
revolting.
way to damage yourself internally.
I know.
Welcome to this week's episode of Cast vs. Crew vs. Lockdown.
Greetings, fair traveller, and welcome to this week's episode of Cast vs. Crew vs. Lockdown. I shall be your narrator for the duration of this episode. Hello, and before me sits my cast and crew of wonderfully talented actors. Wave hello, everybody. Now, this week we're going to be embarking into the world of graphic novels with the classic tale of Tintin, specifically Explorers on the Moon. Now this follows on from the tale Destination Moon, where they build a rocket and now they're going to fly it to the moon. Now, as per usual, I have the Wikipedia plot synopsis in front of me because I last read this when I was about 7. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but remembered precisely none of it. Now, of course, we need our cast and also our cast. So this week we're going to have a selection of characters featuring James Bond, the Terminator, Bambi, Darth Vader, Indiana Jones, Popeye, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mr. Bean, and Peter Pan. So, here goes with Tintin, Explorers on the Moon. The story begins with Tintin, Captain Haddock, and Professor Calculus boarding their spaceship. So, Martin, as Professor Calculus, please, could you please be played by Mr. Bean? Josh, could you be Captain Haddock, please? But I'd like you to be the Terminator. And Mary, Tintin himself, as Popeye, please. This is you boarding the spacecraft.
I'm so big and strong, I'm gonna open the door. I don't know what Popeye sounds like.
I assure you, I am bigger and stronger.
Kenny!
And scene. Brilliant. Faithful reenactments, one and all. Now, the rocket lifts off without any problems at all. And they're on their way to the moon when they discover that suddenly they've got a couple of stowaways. So these are the two famous detectives, Thompson and Thompson, and they had stowed away on the ship for reasons known only to them, though we may wish to find out during this scene. So, Mary, I'd still like you to stick with Tintin, please, but I didn't quite see Popeye as being a Tintin character. My fault. So could he please be Darth Vader? And Martin and Josh, you are Thompson. You can make up your own minds who is who, but this time...
I'm Thompson.
Okay, I'd like you to be Popeye. I want to try and get that role nailed down. And Josh, could we have you as Mr. Bean this time, please? So this is Tintin, or was it Peter? Who did I give you? Darth Vader, discovering the two stowaways.
Stowaways on my ship.
Yes, oh.
And you?
Thompson.
Get out.
But there is space, so that would be condemning them both to death. Now, on the way to the moon, they stop. They park. Is that what you do with a spaceship? They pause it and they take a break essentially to check. Josh, don't do it. Don't do it. We never said this was factually accurate. They park it, Josh. They park the ship. Alright. They weigh anchor. Is that better? Is that okay? They weigh anchor.
No!
They go below decks, they turn a big wheel, and a space anchor comes out the bottom of their ship.
3 years wasted.
Okay, we just need to just...
And so that's Popeye weighing anchor. At this point, they're checking on the ship and making sure it's all running smoothly and sorting out various minor mechanical problems. But we discover that Captain Haddock has an unfortunate an addiction now. In the stories, it's alcohol. But I'm going to leave it to the actors to find their own form and what they would like the captain had to be addicted to. So let's see, Martin. I'd like you to be Captain Haddock, please. Who could you? Yes. What's the Terminator? What does the Terminator struggle with? Let's not go too deep and dark here, but basically what I'd like to do is the Terminator goes on an unplanned spacewalk in search of something. What is it, Martin? What is it? Let it speak to you. Okay, no, fantastic. Put it in a scene, Martin.
I'll be back after I found my sunglasses.
Yes, and that's where we see that, and interesting that Martin picked up on it. Due to an unfortunate administrative error, the spacesuits they had ordered had been replaced by penguin suits, which is the only explanation I can find for that strange way Martin decided to exit the scene.
My chair wouldn't roll.
Okay, right. Now, as you might expect, they do successfully land on the moon, and they take the space tank, which is genuinely a thing, out to the moon's surface. Now, I believe in the space tank we've got Calculus and Tintin. Mary, I'd like you to reprise your role as Tintin, please, but this time I'd like you to be... let's keep you with Darth Vader. Josh, can you be Calculus, please, when you decide to reform your corporeal state? There it is, thank you. I'd like you, please, to be Peter Pan, and you are taking the space tank out, and you are the first people to drive on the moon.
Well, golly gosh, this sounds like a perfect time for me to spread my wings and get myself on the iceberg. What do you say, Captain?
You go and find the rebel base. I will follow in the tank.
Gosh, you sound like a real party pooper. I don't want to give you over to the rebels. I'll do my own thing, gosh darn it. And I'll fly. Whee! I'm Peter Pan.
At which point, Peter Pan suffered an unceremonious and really quite sudden death at the hands of the cold, atmosphereless moon. And we won't be seeing Peter Pan again. Josh killed him. Okie dokie. The moon tank being such a successful mission, they decided to venture out in their spacesuits. And now Tintin is going to be the first person ever to set foot on the moon. Martin, I'd like you to play Tintin, and I'd like you, please, to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, taking the first steps onto the moon and radioing back to the ship, which has Mary, Professor Calculus in it, played, please, by Bambi.
This one step for man may strike me down in my old age, but it'll bring me back stronger than before. Hello there, Bambi.
Is my mum out there?
Oh, God!
Ooh!
I'd rather not answer that question.
Wow, Mary, that was brutal. Okay, the mission to the moon has been a resounding success, and they take off. They watch his face. They roll the anchor back in.
Wait, 1 second. Look.
I've just realised that weigh anchor is when you're casting off, isn't it? So when I said they weighed anchor earlier, that was the wrong thing to say. To drop anchor, that's the one. Anyway, they weigh anchor and cast off the moon, and the sails unfurl, and the lunar winds push them. Yeah, I know. The rockets fire, and they start back towards Earth. But
Thank you.
that's okay. But even I couldn't go that far as to suggest that would work. But disaster strikes because there's been a stowaway this whole time. You see, a foreign agent, and for legal, governmental, political, and just generally moral grounds, I can't say which nation he's from. A foreign agent has been stowed away with the express intention of attempting to hijack the plane. Now, this agent, well, what better agent is James Bond? James Bond has tried to hijack this plane. James Bond, by the way, of indeterminate country of origin, has attempted to hijack this plane. Josh, I'd like you to play James Bond trying to hijack this rocket. So he's entered the control area. Martin, could you be Tintin, please, as Indiana Jones, the Bond Jones face-off we've always wanted, and Mary as a startled Captain Haddock, please. Let's see a Mr. Bean's reaction. So take it away, guys.
You need to give me this plane. James Bond, played by Sean Connery. From the film I'm Sean Connery Bond James.
I'm sorry, kid. I didn't understand a word you just said.
I'm British.
Step away from the console.
No, I'm Bond. James Strong.
At this point, the Thompson twins, played by Martin and Josh, who are both somehow Popeye, take down the foreign agent, played by Mary, who's James Bond, and save the day. Go!
Click, 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 bing, bing. Come on, Popeye, let's go.
Okay, Popeye, let's go beat him up.
Ah! Ah!
Marvellous, and the day is saved. But unfortunately, because of the huge number of unintended passengers, their oxygen supplies are running low. So in this final scene, just before the autopilot for landing a rocket is set, everyone's lying down their bunks trying to conserve oxygen. These are going to be their final words. They don't know if they're going to survive this landing. These might be the last words they say. Martin, you please, Professor Calculus, played by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Josh, Captain Haddock, please, played by the Terminator. Mary, you are Tintin himself, played by a bit more of Indiana Jones. You're lying down on your bunks. Oxygen's low. What are your final words? We'll go around in the same order. Martin, what's Professor Calculus say?
I'll be back to the Force Ghost next week.
Nice. Josh, what does Captain Haddock say? Oh, poignant. And finally, Mary, what does Tintin say? Oh, amazing. Now, of course, needless to say, it is a Tintin story, so the touchdown goes perfectly. They all survive, and the day is won by the good guys. I think that was a phenomenal showing by the rapid round robin of characters we had there. And then they all lived happily ever after. Good job, guys. Very impressive. To those of you watching, thank you very much for tuning in. We will be back once again next week. Different story, different narrator, different characters, but the same group of people. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay smiling. Thank you very much. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
For clarification, Josh, it's a wig.